there is a bit of a crisis kind of happening. It seems like people don't really want to get together as much as people thought. And so, thanks to Stan, the editor, we managed to find a video that might start shedding some light as to what's going on, why there's such a crisis in the dating market, why people aren't really getting together as they should. So be sure to like, comment, share, and give your thoughts about what's going on here.
And subscribe.
A girl posted a video about how we are in a single epidemic, like an overwhelmingly large amount of people who are single. Yet everyone seems to be looking for love. And I'd like to add my 2 cents as to why I think that is. I think it's 3 main things. I think 1, everything has to be social media approved now. It's not enough for you to find somebody that makes you happy. You also have to find someone that is going to put you in a relationship where you're able to brag about it all on social media. And that's not helpful. 2, the idea that there is going to be this perfect person who completely understands you upon meeting them, and you won't have to communicate the way that you want to be treated, and you won't have to have these tough conversations, and everything will just work out perfectly. That's not helpful. And then 3, which I think is like probably the most deadly and something that I myself am very guilty of, is that we have gotten so far into like encouraging everyone to be independent and be happy on their own, which is important. I say it all the time. It is very important. But I think that we're kind of in a point where we've overcorrected. Like, you keep seeing this rhetoric of like, oh, you don't owe people this, you don't owe people that, like, you don't have to put up with that. And I think that you guys are missing the fact that, like, when you are in a relationship with someone, even if it's not romantic, even in a friendship, there are going to be aspects of this relationship that are not necessarily pleasant all the time. And the solution can't always be, well, never mind, I'm just going to be single, I'm just going to be by myself, or let's just go no contact, let's just not even be friends anymore. That's not the solution. Everything cannot be solved by, oh, I'll just be by myself and let's just not do this anymore. That's not how you stay in a relationship. Yes, you do need to be independent. Yes, you need to get to a place where you are happy on your own. But if you want to be in a relationship, it is going to come with tough decisions, and decisions that will come where you could make the choice to say, I'm just going to be single, let's just not try anymore. Or you could compromise and be patient and be forgiving. Like, being in a relationship of any sort, again, not even romantic, being in any sort of relationship is going to cause you to have some sort of a conflict. And you can't solve conflict if your very first or last answer is to just say, let's forget it. Let's just split up. That's not how you stay together. I'm glad and I'm grateful that society, and women specifically, really women, have moved past a point of needing to be in a relationship because, like, if you weren't attached to a man, then you could not provide for yourself. I'm glad for that. But the reason why your grandparents and all of them stayed together was because they had to stay together and they didn't have any choice. And that it's great that we're not in that anymore. But I do think in order to maintain a long-term partnership, especially with someone you want to be with for the absolute rest of your life, you do need to have a mindset of like, okay, I'm going to be in this. Like, leaving actually is not an option. Like, I'm going to stay and I'm going to make this relationship the best that I can make it, because that's what I committed to. That's what I decided to do. And leaving and being by myself is not an option. But when everybody is so quick to say, let's just give up, throw my hands up and walk away, you can't stay together that way. That doesn't make any sense. And again, this is something that I'm guilty of. I've talked about this multiple times. Like, I'm the very first person to throw my hands up and say, just don't call me no more. Leave me alone. But again, that's not how you stay in a relationship. And I think that a lot of us are at that place, both men and women, where we have decided it's easier to just be by myself. And yes, it is easier in a lot of ways for you to be by yourself, but that doesn't mean that that is the answer, especially since there's only so much growing and self-development and healing that you can do when you're by yourself. Once you get to a certain point, you need someone there to reflect you back to you. You need someone to show you your shortcomings. You need somebody to show you the things in you that still need to be healed. So being single and being alone and just giving up on having relationships as soon as they get tough is not the answer. And I really do think that is why we're in such an epidemic.
Okay.
She's smart.
Who wants first crack? Anybody?
I agree with her on the whole thing, except the part where it's like, you make the choice to stay even
Mhm.
through the hardships. Whereas like I'd say you make the choice to stay until things get too difficult and you can't like there is no change happening in the relationship or the relationship is just really really difficult and it doesn't have to be. That's when I think the second part of her point comes in where that person starts reflecting things that you are not used to as like towards yourself, right? And then you have to make a tough choice like do I leave or do I stay?
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, stay, but until when? Till there's violence involved, or no?
But I think that's up to the person, like the
exactly.
individual.
Exactly.
I want to think that she's referring to healthy or at least non-violent abusive relationships. I hope that's what she's referring to. I agree, and if it is that, I do agree that a lot of the time we tend to call it quits. I think on the flip side, there's also times where maybe we should call it a quits a little bit earlier than we tend to leave it hang, and then 2 years later we're like, oh damn, what the hell was I thinking? But instead of cutting it at the beginning when you should have, you spend all that time with the person, and I'm not gonna say it's a waste of time, but it's also like, why are you also there? You get me? Like, if you're also telling yourself, I don't want to leave the relationship, I don't want to give it up, okay, but why are you there? Like, like, what's the purpose of you being in the relationship? What are you trying to get out of it? How exactly do you feel towards the person? Because, great if you're not willing to throw away a relationship, but is it a relationship worth keeping also?
The other thing that I do agree upon with her is that she says that a lot of people tend to leave something when they have to have a hard conversation. And I think a lot of people these days, regardless of whether it's romantic or whether it's just friendship, are not capable of having those difficult conversations.
She touched on something that is people kind of, I have not heard it that much, where it's like she's right. Everybody out here is seeing themselves from the angle of just themselves. So they think, I'm this, I'm that, and this and that. And it's like there is a level of maturity that comes from when someone else has to deal with you. And they see you from not how you see yourself, but from an outside view. That is very healthy, because many people really do feel like they have it together, but it's like you don't deal with you the way that other people around you have to. So you don't see if there's like, you don't take accountability there. If there's like those character flaws in your development, you don't see that because you're in your own body. That's not going to happen until you start interacting with other people. And it does lean right into what you said, where having those hard conversations, especially on the subject, just like, hey, this ain't you, just calling out accountability. What is that these days? Because then people, they go into the realm of their feelings. They internalize that thing and then dismiss the whole conversation because their feelings got hurt. When the person probably bringing a conversation up to them, your feelings are going to hurt, but this is about your overall growth. And growth goes beyond your feelings. That's going to happen every, whatever. But this is about you growing as a person, even if it's not with me particularly. And so I really wanted to stress that, because people are not seeing themselves from the outside lens of the people around them. That's why it's a lot of people that just, the cockiness, the arrogance, like we be like, how can someone be that way? They don't see it. They don't see it like we do. And that's sad.
Very true.
Would you guys agree with I'm gonna paraphrase what she said because I don't really remember the whole thing, but she said that you can be as single as you want to be, right, or alone, but that can only go so far in how you grow as a person because you need someone else there to reflect qualities of yourself that you're not yet comfortable in handling or seeing. So, like, would you guys agree?
Yes.
You need someone else there, like whether it be a friend or a family member or romantic partner.
Because in truth, Jesus, if if that whole just going life solo thing, if that was possible, people would have done it, and no one in this, not in this world or like, you know, from the past have done that. Everybody at some degree, whether they want to admit it or not, is a different subject. But everybody has someone, because it's just too much to go in this world by yourself, especially when it's just, there is, I don't know, I think it's a human trait where it's just, congratulations, you think you're together, you think you got it. Now, let me put you in front of these people. Let me see how you do. Because you can say that to a mirror all you want, but it's not until you actually go outside, or even just in the people in your family and stuff like that, we get to kind of see where you are as a person. It's a challenge.
I told you this last time, Ian, like, there's also a difference from when you're in a relationship and when you're not in a relationship, because when you're outside of the relationship, you're kind of thinking about it cool-headed, you know, like, if I'm in the next relationship, or if I was in that relationship, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. You know, hell, it even applies to being a single parent, or just a parent, you know. But when you're kind of more warm-headed, when you're in that moment and all those emotions and buttons are being pushed and, you know, activated, you're feeling all these, like, you're reacting sometimes without even, you know, automatically, without you even, like, thinking about it. And that's when you do start learning that when it comes to actually executions, we don't always react the way that we quote unquote prepare ourselves mentally.
Correct.
So I do think that to a certain extent, right, if you do feel like you're ready to be in a relationship, then go for it. Don't force yourself, you know, especially if you're just proving it to other people. And I kind of wanted to transition to the first point. I don't really remember the second point that she made, but the first one about how a lot of relationships, or like the partners, are more focused on like social media cloud, about, oh, you know, is this person gonna share online, are we gonna you know, follow each other, you know, like
making it look a certain way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like they're always happy, but then it's like deep down
you're doing like
couple goals,
you're doing all of these like posts of videos or photos for this one moment, and it's like a reel in your phone, like 50, because you're trying to decide which one will get the most out of the other people, as if they should be involved anyway.
Or it's like you need other people to see.
You gotta sell it.
And then people, you know, when they break up, let's use a celebrity couple, right? When they break up, people are like, oh my god, but they look so happy together. What happened?
The keyword is look.
So, yeah, what we're gonna say?
They just like basically want to be like the influencers. Like what they see on social media is what they think it's cool, just because, like Jesus said, like it looks like it, but in reality, we are all different. Like, it just depends on our growth, our status, and what we're willing to do if we want to be in a relationship.
You shouldn't need an audience to be happy and enjoy a relationship with supposed to be between 2 or 3, however many people you're in a relationship with. Like, you shouldn't need an audience to applaud you and ooh, ah, yee, every move you make. Like, I've been in relationships with women like that they're more focused, you know, about how exactly you're gonna look when you take the picture, then you upload it, and oh my god, only a couple likes, and I'll be right there like, well, okay, that's good, I guess.
Or like, did you see your uncle didn't like it?
Yeah. Like, good, I don't want him to like it.
and here's the crazy part, because then the flip of that is this: the ones that do focus on that whole just having the outside involved for the sake of positivity, they be the first ones upset when the audience is involved, when it's bad. They be the ones like, mind your business. Like, but you opened this door first. So you can't really get mad that the audience is in for not just when you're happy and you're quote unquote trending, but now they got an input on like how you should raise the kids, how many kids where should you live, maybe who's the more dominant one. That's stressing you out, and it's like, why are they even in here? Here's a thought: don't put them in the first place. I'm not saying you can't share great moments. That's great, but you need to have that boundary set where it's just like, these are just like photos, these are videos, that's great.
It's mementos.
Correct. I'm not about to let you actually have a way in. Like, if you don't put like an outside door to like your house, whatever, inside your like, bedroom, then you use like, why then would you do that social media wise? What I'm saying is, if you wouldn't let the outside world inside of your personal space, why are you doing that over social media? Make it make sense.
It's because they're not enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Like once you enjoy somebody's company, then you're not really like worrying about the audience, or I gotta take a picture now, or I gotta do this. And I think that's just very difficult to kind of difference the two. And like that, what she said, everything she said, it kind of like hit me like, oh damn, I do that, I do this, because it's crazy because you don't know that you're doing it.
I think we're all guilty of it. If we want to be transparent in some places along the way, I think we are guilty of this. Because again, you live in your body. You don't see you for you. Like, I remember, just to go a little on me, like my older brother tried to have a conversation with me about just like my he was really looking out for the sake of my, just like, not really my clothes, like tasting clothes, but just being more presentable. And I just remember I chewed his head off. And then he's like, after I was done just, yelling at him, the only thing he said to me was like, you really don't know how to take criticism, do you? And then he walked off. That hurt because I had to face me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Like that, in that moment, you needed someone there to like show you a piece of yourself.
Because if I can't take it from the level of my brother, how am I going to take it from my like bosses? How am I supposed to take it from my potential girlfriend moving into wife? Like, this is about, again, your overall growth. Even if the moment is just like, it's just my brother saying it, this is something that will transition to the later if it's left unchecked.
Yeah, but any final thoughts?
So I do. So pretty much, try not to throw in the towel. Try to keep working hard, because then it's gonna come back to bite you.
Yeah.
Work hard on yourself, on your relationships, and pretty much growth.
Anything else, you guys?
Richie, why are you looking at me like this?
I thought you were gonna end it.
Who?
Her.
I just recapped. It all falls down to pretty much that.
Eventually, we're gonna get her to host the episode.
Okay, so
Never.
But that, you guys, was just,
We're gonna post it on social
I'm not
media.
ready yet, okay? I'm throwing the towel.
You can't leave.
hey, we're gonna work on it, okay?
We're gonna pull a poll, all right, and you guys tell us whether or not she should host an episode.
Yeah, me or Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
No. Jesus,
But we really want to thank you guys though for just, supporting our channel overall, for everything that we be putting up, and by we I mean mostly Stan the editor. Really do appreciate all that. And this was our reaction. Once again, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys got your own thoughts, feel free to just weigh in. This is something that probably we do need to kind of get the discussion popping about.
Yeah.
But I'm Ian. She's Kika. Over there is Richie, and this guy to my left is Stan. Nah, it's Jesus. But thank you for watching. See you through my eyes once again, you guys. Y'all take care.
See you later.
Bye.